Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm very excited to share this early look at Paralives. The team over at Paralives Studios was kind enough to send me an early access copy of their game. So if you guys want to check it out, you guys can check out their Steam page. Yeah, this is mostly a build showcase because as you guys know, I am a builder. And I was really excited to check out the build mode for this game because the early access has live mode, build mode, and paramaker, which is kind of like their character creation. And I did try it out a little bit. I recreated myself as a para, and I think it turned out pretty accurate. Kind of like in my cartoony stylized self. You guys can see towards the bottom left corner of the screen, and yeah, this is what I came up with the build mode aspect for the game. So obviously we're still trying to figure out like the controls and just how the game works in general, but I've been really loving it so far. I've had a couple of days with this and this is what I came up with. So we are basically doing a full build in this video. We are building a modern 2-story townhouse, and the client is myself because I just went with whatever style worked for me, and we're going for kind of like this modern minimalist kind of like industrial style. I was trying to go for a house that was on a foundation at first, but I couldn't get the stairs to work properly. Actually, the fences were the ones that were not working properly because I wanted them to be on the foundation. It wasn't letting me build them on a foundation, which is quite fine. You know, this game is still on early access, so they're still working out the bug fixes, and also working on like fixing the performance issues, because when I was trying out this game I did experience like some lag spikes, and I did read that on their notes that they were actively working on fixing that. So please keep in mind that when you download this is still an early access game, so there will be some bugs and glitches, and performance isn't quite there yet for like a fully fledged release. But so far I've been really loving it so far. Just all of the different game mechanics feel very new to me as somebody coming from The Sims, particularly The Sims 4, which feels very restrictive, especially if you're playing without mods. I feel like the vanilla version of this game is already offering a lot more features compared to The Sims 4 when The Sims 4 first released. But this isn't a comparison necessarily of The Sims 4 and Paralives, because I feel like Paralives is its own thing. The build mode feels like a mix of Sims 3 and Sims 4, and kind of like the Planet Coaster games, Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo, because of the amount of freedom that you get with the item placement. I feel like it's more similar to Planet Zoo in that sense, because you can freely rotate the items, and also in the case of a lot of items you can also freely resize the items as well, and also change the color because there's a color wheel, and also change the texture, which is kind of amazing. It's a feature that we got with The Sims 3 with Create a Style. Unfortunately they took it out of The Sims 4 for whatever reason. They always say that it was for performance, but I feel like they also were planning on making Sims 4 like an online game, so they took out like so many features that could have easily been part of The Sims 4 if they were more attentive towards like optimization. And another feature of this game actually that I just absolutely loved is the fact that this is an open world game. So yes, your para can walk out of their house and onto their neighbor's house without having to go through a loading screen. And you guys do not know how immersive that feels. Like being able to go out and walk to the park just feels so immersive. There's no barriers for you to go out of your lot and explore the world. And the world itself feels very immersive. It feels very kind of like intentional and handcrafted, which I really loved. Looking at The Sims 4, Sims 4 feels a bit bland or generic, I would say, because you're kind of just stuck in your home lot with very little to do in your neighborhoods, and everything kind of like spawns at the same exact place in The Sims 4. And I just love the handcrafted feel of the world here in Paralives, and I'm really excited for them to like further expand this. I know that there is a lot of customizability when it comes to like lot placement. I haven't even checked that out yet, but that is crazy, the fact that you can build like your own lots and they can be irregular shaped as well, which is kind of crazy. And I wonder if they're planning on adding like different worlds in the future, because right now we're in kind of like a European inspired world. That's how it feels to me. It's kind of like European Mediterranean world. It's a bit hilly and mountainous. Like, I think I would love to see like more of like a farming type world. There's like a farming area in this world, like, don't get me wrong, but I would like to see like more of a flat kind of world where I can just build my suburban homes. But yeah, I feel like this world is big enough actually that you can build whatever you want, and there's still extra room to build more. Because yeah, another really annoying thing about The Sims 4 is that we have very limited lot. It's like what, 15-20 lots per world, and surely there's more. I didn't count, but I feel like there's way more in Paralives at least. So there's that. I did experience a couple of glitches. The one big one was not being able to separate rooms, because there's an option to like, there's like a room separator feature, which allows you to like change the flooring of like different rooms. But unfortunately, I couldn't get it to work. Sometimes it's kind of a hit or miss, so hopefully they can look into that. I think that's the only like big glitch that I experienced on my like 5-hour playthrough of this game so far. The other thing is that a lot of items tend to disappear. I'm not sure what's the cause of it actually. It's kind of similar to Sims 4 when you place something without the move objects and they just disappear for some reason. So once again, maybe they can look into that. But yeah, overall, I've had like such a good experience with this game, considering it's early access. Like, this is like a lot of features that come with this game. Like, it's actually crazy, like with being able to customize the texture and the colors of the items is just like such a game changer to me. And especially being able to resize a lot of the items, because you're resizing a lot of the items, and in many cases you're adding like additional slots to them, which is kind of crazy. So it's not just a visual change, it's like a functional change as well, which is pretty awesome. And also, another thing that I was amazed about is the fact that you can also resize the windows. Oh my gosh, you guys just saw when I was building the exterior, the window resizing was like so satisfying. And I believe you can also build walls that aren't like on a grid, which is pretty awesome as well. I did go for a grid this time because this is like my first build and I'm used to like the Sims 4 way of building. Like, obviously we're still kind of like navigating how to play this game properly. Like, I'm not familiar with all of the controls. So if you guys have any tips, like, please let me know. Cause yeah, I'm still pretty new to this. But yeah, overall, I'm really, really loving it. And I already have ideas for future builds as well. So yeah, for the exterior of this build, it's pretty square-ish. I wish I could have done more actually with the exterior, now that I think about it. But I was mostly concerned with the interior layout and being able to fit everything that I wanted to. Because I wanted kind of like a loft-esque build at first. But then I decided to add like an additional bedroom, which is a separate bedroom upstairs. The original plan was to make it all open and kind of like loft-esque, but I realized that I had like way too much space for it. So I just ended up enclosing it into its own separate room. But yeah, for the interior overall, I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. This is like my personal style. Like, I like a lot of monochromatic tones and warm wood colors with like the red brick accent. So kind of like modern industrial. It looks like a lot of the items that come with this game come from IKEA. So there's that. And I have to say, this game nailed it with like the comfort level of the chairs, because the chairs look so comfy and soft. I feel like this is a thing that nobody really talks about that much in The Sims 4, but Sims 4 has a problem with like comfy looking chairs. Like there's maybe 1 or 2 chairs that come with base game that looks comfortable. Not chairs, but sofas, I mean. And one of those sofas is like the one that you have to unlock, which is kind of like really frustrating. It's like, honestly, it's like a 50-50% chance in all of my Sims 4 builds that I use that one sofa. You guys know what I'm talking about. So the fact that this game has like really soft looking sofas, and you can change the size of them and change the color of them however you would like, it's just so satisfying to me. Also, this game incorporates a feature that I've always wanted in The Sims, which is to be able to customize the wall art. Because you're basically just picking a frame. The way it works in Paralives is that you pick a frame and then you get to pick whatever art you want to be displayed, which I feel like is just a way better system than how they do it in The Sims. Because with The Sims, you have a painting or like a wall artwork, and it has like a fixed style of frame. But sometimes, if you want a more modern frame, it could change the look of the item depending on how you frame it. Because in this case, I went for like I want to say kind of like a manga artwork here, and I like put it on the floor, kind of like leaning against the floor. And yeah, you get to pick like whatever artwork you place there, which is so satisfying. And yeah, so far I think the interior is coming together really, really nicely. I just think the items in this game are just way better designed than The Sims 4. Sometimes The Sims 4 has like really weird proportioned items, like I don't know what they were thinking when they made those doll houses that size in The Sims 4. Maybe it has to do with the animations. I actually have a theory about The Sims 4 that they weren't originally gonna have kids in the base game, because when you look back at The Sims 4, a lot of the early material that they showed off didn't have kids. So it might have to do with like the children's animations and stuff like that, because it's really annoying in The Sims 4 that like most of the life stages are like the same height. So like the adults, young adults, teenagers, and elders are like the same height. It's so annoying. This game has height sliders, by the way, and once again, that was like so satisfying. I absolutely love the character creation in this game. And you can also have like different skin details. Never talked about this before, but I have a skin condition called like keratosis pilaris. And oh my gosh, you had something like that in this game. And I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of emotional because I felt seen as I was making my character. I know that sounds like really random to bring it up right now at this point in the build, but oh my gosh, it was just so satisfying to be able to make a character that looks like you, and also make him dress like you as well, because you don't really see him that much because he's like in the side of the screen, but he's wearing like a shirt that I would have in real life. I think I have 2 of that shirt, by the way, like the green plaid shirt. And yeah, you can fully customize that with like different colors and stuff like that. You can choose their undershirt as well, which really amazed me. When you are in the character creation mode, like you can like choose their undershirt, which is like really crazy, and also change the color of it as well, which is so satisfying. So yeah, really, really happy with how the ground floor came together. Honestly, like this game is just really amazing, and pleasantly surprised actually when I started getting into the gameplay, because for some reason I thought the gameplay for this game was gonna be similar to something like Imvu. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but that's kind of like a browser social media-esque game that I used to play back in the day, like over like 15 years ago. In like the late 2000s, early 10s, there was this game on the internet called Imvu, and it was kind of like The Sims in a sense that you can create your own character and have your own house and stuff like that, but it was more of a social media game as well. And for some reason, I thought that the gameplay for this game was going to be similar to that, which is more of like a point and click game, because in Imvu, you don't really have animations. You can just, click on stuff and the characters will just teleport all over the place. And thankfully, that wasn't the case for Paralives, which I was pretty surprised by, because yeah, we have like full animations. When I had my sim cook, like they're actually cooking, like they're preparing the food on the counter and stuff like that. I don't know why I was thinking that it was gonna be like Imvu for some reason, but I was pleasantly surprised by that. And really excited to explore more of like the story mode, because I feel like that's where this game is really gonna shine, is if it manages to make me invested in the characters, because that's what really stuck out to me with like something like Stardew Valley, because I got really attached to the townies of Stardew Valley, like with Shane, for example, or like Sebastian, or like with who else, Leah or Abigail. Like I love those characters so much, so I hope that they take that route and expand on kind of like the character dynamics and the character relationships, because I feel like that's really what's gonna set this game apart from The Sims. I know I've been comparing it a lot with The Sims 4, because like obviously this is like a lot of building and it's very similar, but like I said, this game feels more handcrafted. Sims 4 feels more generic. I feel like a lot of the character dynamics in The Sims 4 are kind of an afterthought, to be honest. The Sims 4 history tends to be pretty revisionist in my opinion, and I have been covering that game since it came out. I was actually one of the first people who posted about The Sims 4 because I got it early in my time zone. I think it was only the Australian simmers who got it before I did. But yeah, a lot of The Sims 4 tends to be like pretty revisionist when it comes to like The Sims 4 history. But yeah, I feel like with the characterizations for this and with the story mode, I think this game really has a lot of potential to be something like Stardew Valley when it comes to like the characters and how it manages to make people attached to the characters. So anyway, for the second floor there is a bedroom, and I did go ahead and make a walk-in closet for the bedroom, and I love the feature of having kind of like this archway. I have an idea for like a 90s Tuscan inspired suburban home that uses that archway, so please watch out for that. I was already making something in The Sims 3 that looked like this house that I have in my head. I'm planning to like recreate that in Paralives at some point as well. But I love the separation between the bedroom and the walk-in closet, because it's like an archway and it's like so satisfying. And on the staircase landing there is a little kind of like office area, and I actually ended up using a dining table as like an office table, but I thought it went really well with kind of like the industrial vibe that we were going for in this house. So really happy with how everything came together. And now moving on to the landscaping, I think this was the point where I was starting to realize that I had a budget for this build. So the starting budget for your character is 30,000. I don't know what the currency in this game is called, but the symbol of the currency looks a lot like the Philippine peso sign, because it's like a P with like a line. And the Philippine peso one has like two lines. Yeah, I don't know what the Paralives currency is called, but it looks really similar to the Philippine peso one. But yeah, I realized that I had a budget, so I was kind of like trying to save up money at this point. I think I was good until I started placing the trees, and I realized that those were kind of expensive. So I went ahead and changed up some of the appliances on the interior just so I'm able to afford trees. So yeah, again, I love being able to resize items. We didn't have this option in The Sims 4, by the way, in case you guys didn't know. We didn't even have move objects when Sims 4 first released, which is so funny. It was added like months after the fact. And with move objects came the option to resize items, but in the Sims 4 it's like so limited. Like oftentimes the item would be way too big or way too small for what you want, and Paralives give us better resizing options, to be honest, because you can resize anything or most things to whatever size you want, whatever size works for you, whatever size works for your space. And I'm just really happy to see this feature being like fully explored in this game. Technically, you can resize items to whatever you want if you have a mod in The Sims 4. Like if you have the tool mod, then you're free to resize. The vanilla version doesn't allow you to do that, which is kind of annoying. And yeah, for the finishing touches, I just went ahead and added this outdoor dining area right here, as well as an additional kind of like planter bed. I would like to see them add farming in this game, because that's just the type of gameplay that I like as well. A lot of the gameplay that I do for The Sims 4 is just farming gameplay, so there's that. And yeah, I just went ahead and deleted like the fridge and the stove and replaced them with like some cheaper versions, so I'm able to afford the landscaping for the rest of this build. But I think that's actually pretty much it for this build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you think of this game so far. I'm really excited to see how this game improves over time and what kind of features they add next. So please stay tuned for more Paralives content. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.